Welcome everybody to the next episode of KapVista Klips. Today we have Adam from Pool Angel with us. Adam, welcome.
Hi, Daniel.
Thanks for jumping on. I'm really interested to sort of understand what you're doing, the space that you're playing in, because as a parent, it's one of the concerns that I've had. In Australia, we're pretty good on the forefront on teaching children to swim, but we still have tragedies. But globally, it's not a massive safety requirements, and the numbers statistics wise add up. So let's just jump into it. Firstly, I want to understand your story. I want to understand you and how you got to this point. What's your background?
Yep. So my background is automation. I've been in the industry for about 40 years. We started off with concrete plants back in the early 80s, automating their process, and then we moved through to warehouses and factories, and we've continued that journey until today. And during that process, we've seen a lot of changes in technology and what we've been able to achieve. It's very different today as to what we started out with 40 years ago. And it's allowed us to do a lot more things in and around not only industry, but in and around the home.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And then how did you come to Pool Angel? Tell me the story, how you came across this area. How did you want to solve it? How did you get involved? What's the story there?
So about 40 years ago, I met a guy by the name of Tom Ellis. And Tom and I have been sort of working with one another over that period of time, just on different projects. And Tom moved into the area of AI and computer vision. And we hadn't spoken for quite some time. And he reached out because he needed some help with the project. And I said, look, what are you working on, and what are you up to now? And he filled me in that he was working with AI and computer vision, and touched on the subject of pose analysis. And at that stage, he was doing proof of concepts with a large retailer, who, for obvious reasons, we can't mention at this stage. And I asked him more about the process and how it worked, and then went home to sleep on it. And in the morning, I woke up and I phoned Tom and I said, listen, I've got an idea. I'm not sure whether your product has the capability, but how do you feel about saving kids' lives? And he said, sure, what's the thought? And I said, listen, we still to this day lose a lot of kids in and around swimming pools in Australia, worldwide. In America, predominantly no fences, so there's a greater risk exposure, and it's not just children; it's our pets as well. Because in the US, they're losing 100 pets a day in backyard pools.
Wow!
So I explained the idea to him, and he said, "Yep, we can definitely come up with something to solve that problem."
Okay, so the story is that you connected with an old friend who was working on something else, and you were like, well, let's use your technology and build a company to save children's lives and pets' lives, which is a very important industry and a very important issue. So tell me about the opportunity. Tell me about the solution. How does it work? What is it?
Yeah, so I think the thing that people take a bit for granted is that in Australia we take our kids to swimming lessons early on, and we teach them how to swim, and we need to do that. We need to have our fences. I mean, I myself as a child, I could swim. I was taught to swim from about 6 months old, and then I was about, I think, 7 or 8, and I was playing with a tire in a pool. and I flipped over and I was being held underwater by the tyre. Now, I couldn't right myself up, and fortunately, within those seconds and probably a minute, I managed to work out that I had only one option out, and that was to squeeze through the tyre. And I managed to do that. And so that was sort of a part of which I left out of the answer before. So the solution takes into account the fact that, you know, our unattended children in and around the pool are probably our most vulnerable. However, there are still incidents of older children having accidents in and around the pool, including adults. So our product works first and foremost by alerting whenever there's an unattended child within the pool space. If there's an adult present, we won't alert you unless the adult is not responding to a child who appears to be in distress in the pool, and then you will receive the alert. So we use a mixture of computer vision, AI, and what's called pose analysis. Now, we're early stages on the drowning side as opposed to swimming, and we do require, with AI and pose analysis, a large deck of images to work from. And so what we are achieving as we roll this product out is obviously a bigger image deck, more to work from, and those incidents are helping create a much better product. The images and everything are held internally with the house, so they're not exposed to a vulnerable network. It's your images, your product. However, they do help with us creating a much better product in the end.
Yeah. So it's a hardware and software solution?
Correct. So it's a camera solution that monitors the swimming pool, and then there's hardware that sits behind that which has an algorithm on it, and that algorithm learns the different behaviours of the occupants of the pool area.
Yeah.
We use the pose analysis to determine the difference between adults and children too.
And how quick does it make a decision on whether it's playing or drowning?
If it's a child entering the area, you get an alert within 4 seconds. If it's a drowning or a swimming, that takes a little bit more time, because obviously some kids will splash about in the pool and then they'll throw their arms in the air, but then their head pops out of the water and then they're calm again. You have to have a distress period before you can actually make an alert. Okay. Predominantly, we're looking for unattended children, because that's the number one cause of drowning in children under 5 is the fact that they weren't under supervision for less than 30 seconds.
Okay. And it works the same with pets. So your AI software can determine if it's a child or a pet.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And then can this be used in beaches and watering holes and rivers and lakes and things like that? That was our initial focus. In the US, they spend $750 million monitoring their coastline, and not monitoring the coastline, in deaths related to coastline swimming. So our definite focus is to move through from residential pools to commercial pools to then waterways, and add another layer to, you know, the beaches. Yeah. And now, if you've like me and most other Australians, we've all seen Bondi Rescue, and we've seen what they do, and you know how you know, they've got a small team patrolling a large beach. Can you set up your solution somewhere like that, and then, you know, put in the monitored zones as opposed to the unmonitored zones, and where the rips are and things like that? Correct. You could actually focus and highlight areas that you wanted to, and then have a new boundary set in that area, so that you have more focus in there.
You could do it from a physical hard location, or you could do it from a drone. We're working on other solutions for industry which incorporate drones and cameras for safety within warehouses. So it's definitely in the process.
And I'm just thinking aloud here, but can this solution be monitored for unpatrolled locations? Because I know that there is, especially in the warmer months where we have rock fishing, which is incredibly dangerous.
Correct. So if we go down the path of drones, by all means, you could have them taking off. And, you could run a couple of drones so that you've got charging time. They take off and then land and recharge, and another one takes off during that period of time. So you could have 24-hour monitoring of those areas.
Okay, awesome. So, we understand the solution. We understand, who the potential customers are, because it's obviously any sort of local area government, any surf life-saving, organisation, most parents, anybody with a pool. But tell me about the milestones. From inception to now. Tell me about the milestones.
So I think we're almost 3 years in. We've been in initial talks, I think it was just pre-COVID. So yeah, maybe 2.5 years. And as I spoke to people throughout the journey, we brought some more people into for social media marketing and product development. And I remember one of the early conversations that I had with one of our product development managers, Hassan, and he said, this is a 3-year journey, don't you? And I said to him, as all founders, no, we'll be ready in 12 months. We've got to be ready to go. And he said, it's not the case. He said, this is going to take 3 years. And he's been pretty much right on the money all the way through. So during that time, we've built an app. We've actually had systems in pools where we've been doing trials and tests. And we're finally at the stage of an MVP product, which we will release in its basic form with some upgrades to our silver package as we develop the AI further and further. So we are going to market at the moment with a minimum viable product, not fully developed on our drowning versus swimming, but all the other detections are in place and all the other notifications are in place.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So tell me about the raise. How much are you raising? What's it being used for? What's the offer and the momentum you've had?
So we are looking at the moment. We've got access to some new AI, which we want to incorporate into what we have. So we're looking at doing further development on our second generation and our second generation cameras. At the moment, we're just using anybody's cameras, but our future focus is on developing our own camera and hardware inbuilt. So there's a considerable amount required for that. And then there's also the other areas where we're looking at developing into in care as well as the pool care. So we're currently looking at $2.5 million. We haven't really spoken at depth on the portion that's aligned to that raise, but the funds are going to be used for development of the product. And
okay, so $2.5 million raise, going towards further developing the product, building out your own camera system, and further AI integrations.
Correct. We've had talk with the Indian government regarding them actually building a facility for us for the cameras to be built, and we would like to do it locally, but at stage it looks a little primitive. We want to move away from being on the overseas market. We've all seen during COVID, it's been quite hard to purchase anything and get it in a timely manner. So, you know, in the back of our mind, we would like to do it here, keep it local. But if it's out and stay, then we would head that.
Okay. We're just having a bit of a delay and lag with this episode. I'm not sure if it's on my side or your side, but I'll leave it at that, and we can put more information below. But it's been really great to chat to you. I'm really excited about the offering. As I said, I've got 2 children myself who we've been putting in to do swimming lessons. My eldest has been doing swimming lessons. He's almost 5. He's been doing it for 4.5 years now. My youngest is 18 months, and he's been doing it for the last 6 months. So, you know, swimming safety is a big priority for us, and I dare say for most parents. So having something like this is just peace of mind. It's also that, you know, when the kids are in the backyard and, you know, you don't think that they're going to get into the pool area, but sometimes they do, and they fall in. You know, your technology can help, you know, help that happen. I think Adam's dropped off, but this is, as I said, this is a very good opportunity. It's something that you want to be involved with. Any parent who is part of it, or is looking to invest, I think this is something that you get into. But all the details will be below. If you want to get in touch with Adam, please let me know, and I can make a direct introduction. But we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching this episode.